Hello, everyone, and welcome to the meditation today. Um, Today, I thought we would explore grief a bit more. We've explored collective grief around COVID, but today I thought we would explore grief in a deeper level. Welcome to everyone who's just joining us now, and feel free to say hi in the chat. So today we're exploring grief in honor of Transgender Day of Resilience and Remembrance. And for those of you who may not know, I define as a non-binary human. So let's take a pause now for all the trans people who we have lost due to murder because of transphobia that exists in our world. There have been hundreds of trans people's lives that have ended before their time. And this is a day we mark in our community. The murder of trans people has disproportionately been of trans women and trans feminine people of color. Trans misogynoir is robbing us of these women, and it's important we remember and honor them today. Just this year, 2020, 36 transgender or gender nonconforming people were killed. The majority of these people were Black and Latinx women. For those of you watching, maybe you think you don't know any trans people if you're cisgender. But most likely you have shared spaces with trans people around you and maybe you didn't know. So we ask everyone here, trans or cis or somewhere in between, to open your heart, feel more compassion around these trans misogynist deaths. So today's meditation, we will open to this grief and to all grief. You know, some of us have lost loved ones lately or in the past, and they're still in our hearts. So in our society, grief, unfortunately, is not very acceptable. We're supposed to be optimistic most of the time, and we deny grief because it's more socially acceptable. And being together here, those of us who are here or watching in the future, is actually radical because this is very complex and it includes many emotions. Grief includes anger, sadness, worry, resentment, shame. But all these feelings are teaching us something, and they're gifts that can offer insight, deeper compassion. And there is no way you should grieve. You can grieve any way that you need to. So let's be gentle with ourselves today in this small container of time and space through the YouTube internet waves. And then afterwards, have a walk or a cup of tea or whatever you need that feels nourishing to you. Just take care of yourself. So we can be messy or overwhelmed or cry. You know, maybe you are alone in a room right now. I don't know where you are, but just let it flow through you and make that space. We don't need to be alone. We're here together today. And we're just going to bring some awareness to the feelings that may be coursing through our bodies around grief on this special day. This is actually vulnerable and brave to be with grief. It's a bit of a challenge to sit with it and honor it. And when we do so, we let light into our bodies and our hearts, and it allows us to transform. I know some of us are here in Montreal and elsewhere, people love Leonard Cohen, and we all maybe are familiar with his line in his song, there is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. And after the meditation, I put the link to that song um, if you want to listen to it. So let's cultivate compassion towards ourselves and others, wisdom and humility here today. So find a spot. I encourage you to lay down today if you don't usually do that, or if you do that. As this is a bit of a heavier meditation today. And just relax as much as you can if you're sitting, and get as comfortable as you can. Support your body, pillows, or whatever you need. So let's invite the body to relax. And let go a little bit, or if you're able to, a lot. Making space for any grief that is arising around a memory of a loved one or ones. Softening our hearts towards these feelings. And knowing the deep truth of change in our lives. We have lost someone, and we will lose someone again. And turning towards this grief, we can also invite the body and the heart and the mind to settle. Taking some deep breaths. And any time during this meditation, you can take these deep breaths if you need to. It's an anchor to come back to, because grief takes a lot of energy and it can be hard to stay with it. What is it like to be present and open with the grief inside our bodies? Staying with those feelings. Noticing the sensations that arise. Where are the strongest sensations within the body? And what are these sensations like? Is there a temperature, contraction, expansion, numbness, a comfort or discomfort, or somewhere between all of this? A mixture. And accepting the grief sensations that are here right now. Opening to them a little bit more if you're able, or just investigating them a little bit more. Letting the grief pass through us a little. Or maybe it's staying, and that's okay. This is a process, and it's always changing. Together, we're just creating the space and time for what is arriving. And just gently being with things as they are right now. If you want, you can put your hand on your heart and one on the belly or not. It's totally up to you. Just feeling the ground underneath us right now. Feeling that support. And bringing into your heart the person or people you have lost. And feeling into that grief. If you want to say their names out loud, or you can just say their names in your heart. And staying with the feelings. And expressing your love to them now. Just being with them. And tears are welcome if they need to come. if you want, you can let out your grief with a noise that feels right in your body. And feeling the love that you feel towards them present here today. Feeling into their love and care for you. And let that love surround you. Remembering that love in yourself. Their love is always still around you if you feel into it, because love is timeless, abundant, and unbounded by time and space. So we're not indulging nor suppressing our grief. We're just being present to what is right now. This is how it is right now. Offering patience to yourself with this suffering and giving compassion to yourself. Letting waves of loving kindness soak through your body. You can show yourself you care by giving yourself a big hug, you can massage your arms. Or also a really nice thing to do is put your hands tenderly on your face. That often feels nice. That feels good to you. We are all human and grief is a part of life, and coming out of the silence now and thinking about these dear people in our lives that we have lost. And thank you for being here, for bravely welcoming grief. You can orient around yourself in the room, look around, maybe there's something pleasant in your house that brings you some joy. And you can like shake it out if you want, or you can swipe or not, stretch. And yeah, thank you so much for being here with me today. And hi, Mom, and Shayo, and Jill, and Bibiana. Thanks so much for being here. Feel free to say goodbye or whatever you want in the chat. And maybe you reflect on this and be with your loved ones when they come to visit you, when it's quiet or in nature. They are always waiting. Our beloveds are there, letting them be a resource to you in these darker days. You can feel into their love, can give you strength and courage, and we can heal our grief like this and celebrate love. So if you want to look below, there is some actions you can take to support the trans people in your life, or if you want to share that with some people. And there's that link to the Leonard Cohen song if you want to heal through music. And yeah, TNI, of course. Oh, and there's a new link today for Aztec, which is an organization in Montreal that supports trans women here. So I encourage you to donate to that instead of Donna. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm sorry I went a little bit over. I hope to see you next Friday at noon. Bye, everyone.